Hey everybody, one of the Throwback Thursday Let's Play. We're going back to 1992 and the absolute banger of a classic, Warhammer Quest. Now, this is, of course, one of the great solo play games of all time from the world of miniature wargaming, and also probably one of the coolest box sets Games Workshop ever produced. It is a full-on procedurally generated dungeon crawl adventure for up to 4 players, 1 to 4 players, set in the Warhammer universe, in the classic Old World. It features a cast of characters that I think you'd probably remember from a certain other Games Workshop game called Hero Quest. You have a barbarian, a dwarf, a wizard, and an elf, and they are off to have adventures. Now, not only does this game contain over 100 miniatures, 101 models in the box set. It has dungeon tiles for your exploration. It has a full role playbook for doing everything from playing it as a individually linked campaign game, like a tabletop war game, to playing it as like a full GM'd like RPG as well. And then on top of that, rules for basically every single 90s Warhammer monster, bad guy, villain in existence. Once you get to battle level 10, you're fighting like bloodthirsters and great unclean ones and emperor dragons, like everything you can possibly think of is in there. And even with over 100 miniatures in the box set, you barely scratch the surface of what's possible as far as bad guys go. It conveniently comes with additional blank cards so that you could basically add whatever your miniature collection was at the time into your bad guy pool and expand it immediately with whatever you wanted to play with. You could theme it. The box set comes with a bit of chaos and a bit of orcs and goblins, so you're gonna get some Skaven, some giant rats, some minotaurs from the chaos side, and on the orcs and goblin side, you're gonna get some goblins, some orcs, some giant spiders, just sort of, and some snotlings, some bad guys. And yeah, and this was a game that at the time there really wasn't anything like it in the market as far as like procedurally generating an adventure. You did not need a GM if you didn't want one. And it used a really cool deck-driven dungeon building thing. So that's what I'm gonna walk you through. We're gonna go from character creation. It's pretty simple, but I am gonna do linked campaign games and introduce new heroes to our adventuring party. And as I go through, basically, you'll get to see the new cast of heroes, because I do have a few of the old Hero Quest models. I have the Slayer, I have the Noble, as you've seen before, Esteban Galante, the Imperial Noble. I have the Witch Hunter, and I also have somewhere the Warrior Priest. I have to find him, and the Pit Fighter. So those miniatures will make an appearance, basically, as we go forward through the game. So we're going to start off with the classics, use the classic adventuring party, and show you how the game works. So let's take a look at box contents, and then jump in and play a game. And so here it is, Adventure in a Box. We've got the classic size Workshop box. If you owned any Workshop games in the 90s, you realize that this just size and shape of box will make you nostalgic. And this was it. This was the look at that cover. Like, look at that barbarian. Look at those thighs. Oh my God, he looks like Brian Blessed and Flash Gordon. It's amazing. Yeah, this is just such a classic. It came with piles of cardboard. This is really what you would call the cardboard era of miniature wargaming, where printing cardboard had become a little bit cheaper and also just better. And so tons of games came with just piles of cardboard. And you had these wonderful tiles for your dungeon. They're all reversible. So actually, no, these ones aren't reversible. Different game was reversible. But I have to thank somebody right now, actually, just for this video happening. Steve Persia sent me an extra copy of the tiles that he had, because even though I had what I thought was a complete set of Warhammer Quest, like an unpunched copy that I've just painted, apparently I somehow lost all the cardboard out of it. And so this almost didn't happen. This video almost didn't happen, and this game almost didn't happen. But Steve had an extra set, and he sent them along so that I could actually record the video. And a huge thanks to him. You guys should give him a shout out if you can, because literally this almost didn't happen because I didn't have the dungeon. I had all the miniatures on the sprue, I had everything else, and that was it. You got 108 or 101 models, which include the door frames. Now the door frames all have snaps on the bottom, so you actually snap these into the cardboard, and you build your dungeon as you go. And you got 12 of pretty much everything except for the big guys. So you got 12 bats, 12 Skaven, 12 giant rats, 12 giant spiders, 12 orcs, 6 hand open and shield, and 6 bowmen, and then 12 goblins, again 6 bowmen and 6 spear and shield, 12 snotlings, and 12 giant spiders. And our 4 intrepid heroes, the dwarf, which for a long time was the nicest dwarf hero miniature in the dwarf range, the barbarian, the wizard, and the elf. And funnily enough, they're not actually pictured on the box. They weren't done in time for the box to be done, so I'm pretty sure it's pictured on the box. Yeah, it's really funny, because everything was done except for them. So the heroes pictured on the box are actually different. They're talisman heroes. So that's a talisman barbarian, a talisman wizard, a talisman dwarf, and a talisman elf, because they weren't done in time for that photo. So a little bit of trivia there about Warhammer Quest. And you got all of your procedural generation stuff. So you got your dungeon deck, and it's divided into 2 different categories. You have your objective rooms, which are these big tiles, and then you have your actual dungeon rooms, which are the remaining tiles. And you build your deck from scratch, basically, at the start of each adventure. You get your 3 rule books. The core rules aren't actually... Jesus. It's just shedding, because it was all punched recently for the most part, so these are all shedding like bits of paper still. It's not actually that much rules. It's about 25, I think, pages of rules, like all told for running the game. The core rules, 32 pages for like the core rules, including the references. The core rules are nice and simple. They're really easy to run, but they include room basically for you to customize every mission on the same core engine, which is really nice. And to just pop in and out heroes as well. I get your adventure book. Now this is, you don't want to read this in advance because every objective room could be used by a different villain. And so what this is kind of the random generation of who's the boss you're going to fight. These are like your raids. And with 5 objective rooms, you have, I think, 6 of each. So there's 30 different bosses, just if you're playing as one-off games to go and fight against. And of course, the mission's gonna be different every time because the dungeon leading up to the boss is gonna be different every time. And then you have this enormous roleplay book, which is by itself, geez, it's like 190 pages. It has a whole campaign in it. It actually has the rules for the Troll Slayer. It has rules for going to town, having encounters, how to roleplay, and then like every single bad guy monster for the most part. And then D66 tables that replace the cards for the event. So what you have is you have the event deck, and that drives the game for what's happening. But when you played it in the advanced way, when you expand your collection, everything had a tag, and when you flip the card over, you would then roll a D66 chart to see what your result was, and it could be an event, it could be monsters. And the list of monsters based on like what your level is just bananas. So level 1, there's even more monsters that we don't have out of the box. There's skeletons, ogres, beastmen, storm vermin, wild cave squigs, squig hoppers, giant hobgoblins, a goblin shaman. Like, if I just wanted to use this Naggaroth blackguards, centaurs, like, was there, I don't even remember there being centaur models back in the 90s. I guess maybe the really old, like, I remember the Realms of Chaos centaurs, but I don't remember really having access to them at that point. Especially not having like be like a common bad guy. And by the time you get to like a high level, oh my god. So this is level 6. Dark Elves, Witch Elves, Dark Elf Assassin, Dark Elf Hero, Wraiths and Wights, Bull Centaur Champions, 3 Stone Trolls and 3 regular Trolls, Chaos Sorcerer, Warriors of Chaos, and Chaos Champions. It's like, it's just bonkers. Like, the amount of stuff you have is just bananas. Dragon Ogres and Dragon Ogre Champions. And then at the bottom, like when you get to the bottom level, at like level 9, it's like Deathmaster Assassins, Giants and Hippogriffs. Level 10, Master Chaos Sorcerer, Centaur Champion, Centaur Hero, and a Chaos Lord. A Dragon, a Lamassu, Bull Centaur Heroes. The Skaman for the Vermin Lord shows up. And then it's like Bloodthirsters, Lords of Change, Great Unclean Ones, like all that stuff. And yeah, and like it was so fully realized out of the box and expandable. And basically, the more miniatures you already had in your Warhammer collection, you have to think this is the height of Middle Hammer. This is 92. So this is probably 5th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So we're talking elves and goblins in the box set, which I also have. I should actually paint those up. Considering I have like the beginning of an Orc and Goblin army here. And yeah, and like you're talking about like probably like a dozen miniatures, like a regiment box, to add the bad guys to your list. So if you just had a cool collection at home, you could sub in your collection in the event cards and really expand this game ad nauseum. There was also rules for bajillions of extra heroes. So like when you're talking about I think there's 12 additional heroes overall. I'm probably getting that wrong, but there was like one from every faction. So there's Bretonnian Knight, there's even a Chaos Warrior, the Witch Hunter, the Warrior Priest, the Elf Ranger, who is like literally the best character in the game. There was the Troll Slayer. Yeah, like, it just goes on and on. So like you really did have like a ton of stuff that you could do to expand the game and make it your own. So that's the contents, and of course there's widgets and stuff to your power counters, your treasure deck, luck tokens, the portcullis, and then these wee little dice which you use to track wounds, because everything is multi-wound in this. So if you hit a goblin or a snarling, you didn't kill it, you put a little wound die next to it, and these dice got lost all the time. Let's talk about setting up our first adventures. We have our Intrepid Band of Heroes. Now you typically use 4 heroes. If you want to use more, there is rules for upping the monster count, but we're just going to use 4 heroes because we're playing this solo. And every hero starts with a prescribed piece of equipment. The dwarf gets a rope. Can be used to escape from the pit. Hooray, if you get the pit event. Each time it's used, roll a d6. On a 1 or 2, it snaps and you lose the item. A lantern, and this is probably the most important thing. The leader of the excursion gets the lantern, and as far as the other heroes here are concerned, the barbarian always grabs the lantern if he's included, because he's the barbarian. He doesn't take no for an answer. And you need the barbarian's lantern to explore and also to see into board sections. The Hand of Death Scroll, which the wizard gets, he uses it to basically blow up a single monster once per game. Once it's used, it's gone. You can buy more in town if you're not playing one-off games. And the Healing Potion, which again is discarded if you use it. And it just brings you back to full wounds. So it's pretty important because you can die real easy in this game, and there's no injury table. Once you're dead, you are dead. The thing is, even though the rules aren't that long, the play sheet actually summarizes it really well. So each player chooses a warrior. You take your equipment cards for the warrior, pass them out. Work out how many wounds each warrior has. You start with a random number of wounds. Now, because we're going to play campaign games, we would normally record it here on the adventure record sheet. For this game, I'm not going to use these though, because I'm going to use, I printed some of these off the internet, the big sheets. We're going to fill these out. So everybody starts with a random number of wounds. The dwarf is d6 plus 8, the barbarian is d6 plus 9, d6 plus 6 for the wizard, and d6 plus 7 for the elf. You roll for wounds. If you roll a 1, you can re-roll it, but if you get a second one, it stands. So the dwarf is going to have 13, the barbarian is going to have 11, the dwarf or the wizard's going to have 10. Top of his wounds, the wizard also has to roll for his power store. His power store is basically tokens he can spend to cast spells throughout the course of the game, and they replenish between adventures, but they don't replenish during the game. Again, I can reroll 1 if I roll 1. I got a 4. So I'll start with 4 power tokens each adventure. So not least, he has to get a spell from each school, and because I'm doing linked campaign games, I'm going to cut the decks here because I've already shuffled them. He gets to know these spells forever. So normally in one-off games, you just draw like a different spell each time, but this is going to be his spell list that he studied for years and years. So Wilbert Whitebeard, you know, shield, sweet, shouting words of power. You point at your companion and shield him. Pick any warrior on the board, including the wizard. For this turn, the chosen warrior is immune to all attacks except those made with a natural 6 to hit. Sweet. Lost the turn, but it costs 6 power to cast. So if you think about it, I've got 4 tokens, they're like might points, and every round the power score is a d6, so it's pretty hard to cast. Pit of Despair is my attack spell. Pick any 2x2 square area of the board and place the pit marker on it. Roll a d6 for each model standing on it. On a 1 or 2, they fall in the pit. On a 3, 4, 5, or 6, they scramble out of the way. Once in place, no models can enter any square covered by the pit, and the pit is permanent. I basically make the floor drop out. Sweet. Costs a 5, though. And then I got my protection spell, or my healing spell. Heal wounds, sweet. Target anywhere on the board, immediate. Pick any, they heal d6 wounds, and only costs 4. More wounds for the elf. Ooh, 13. He's as tough as the dwarf. There's all our heroes created now. We've got Skeggy Goldfist, my dwarf, Bjorngar, the barbarian, Wilbert Whitebeard, the wizard, and then Lake Breeze, the elf. And they are ready to rock and roll and explore a dungeon. We shuffle the event decks and the treasure cards, already done. Then we separate the objective rooms, shuffle them out. So we'll shuffle these guys out. I'm just going to cut the deck, basically. And pull an objective room. So we pulled the Tomb Chamber. Chill Breeze froze in the room. Sweet. And we have to see the adventure book for details in the Tomb Chamber. Adventure book, then, we're going to roll a d6 on that. So we have to see what we're trying to do in the tomb. We are a 2. 2 is going to be the Sword of the Death King. The fortress of Vorag lies beyond the Badlands on the Plain of Bone. It was from this proud, cruel citadel that Ashkral Death King, a follower of the all-powerful necromancer Nagash, ruled many centuries ago. Endless legions of the dead strode to battle at his command, and the living fell before their unearthly might. When Ashkral was overthrown by the orc warlord Morak Bloodcrusher, the dying necromancer swore that he would one day return. His shattered body was taken by his acolytes to a secret place deep beneath Cripple Peak, on the shores of the Sour Sea. However, the Death King was not truly dead. He was merely in a state of limbo between life and the next. The only weapon said to truly be able to kill him was the sword he had himself wielded, and this was buried with him so that he could not fulfill its destiny, and so that he could wield the power of it from beyond the grave. So basically, we're trying to break into the tomb, and kill him. So there's been great upheavals in the land, both politically and physically. The nearby volcano Karag Haraz has erupted many times in the years since the Death King's defeat, spewing lava and magma over the region and causing the earth to tremble. Over the years, the citadel has been reduced to rubble, and the Death King's story has passed into legend. However, after the most recent eruption, the entrance to a long sealed dungeon was revealed. The myth of the Death King, so long regarded as nothing more than a story, looks to be possible. The warriors have been summoned to take the sword and enter the newly opened dungeon, there to find and slay the Death King once and for all. Nominate the warriors to carry the sword. If used in combat, the blade causes plus d6 wounds. but automatically strikes an adjacent warrior. It rolls a 1, so it's a bad sword, evil sword. And the Tomb Chamber, roll in the objective room monster table to determine what monsters are in the Tomb Chamber. And once the monster is defeated, the warriors may lift the tomb and slay the Death King. However, he's still weak. He will try to stop them. His willpower crackles in the air, rooting the warriors to the spot. His voice echoes in the darkness, challenging the puny mortals. Before they can kill him, the warriors must overcome this powerful magic. Roll d6 for each warrior taking part in the battle. If the combined score is 13 or more, the curse is broken, the Death King can be slain. Total is less than 13, the warriors' minds are broken by the thrall, and they become thralls of the necromancer. Oh my god, swell his army. In the tomb is d6 times 100 gold to be shared equally among each warrior. Once the dungeon's finished, the warriors may return safely to their freedom. Find that tomb right here and put it aside. Look at that. Look at that tomb. This guy has a chaos warrior in it. There, we need to shuffle out 6 more dungeon cards, put them with the objective chamber, shuffle them, and place them at the bottom of the dungeon deck. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this will form the objective region. Then we're going to shuffle 6 more cards and place them on top, and that'll form the entrance. So somewhere in the bottom 7 cards is the objective room. The rest of the dungeon cards are put away. And this is how we proceed to generate a dungeon. Turn over the top card of the dungeon deck, and this is the entrance to the dungeon. So we enter through the passageway. So entry is always the white border on this side, and then I have the option of placing it on any of the other ones. So not bad. We got a stairwell here. Look at that. There's light coming down the stairwell and everything. Perfect. Quest is a game that can, if you're not careful, creep off the table. So we do have to be a little bit careful. But now we're deployed. Now typically monsters do not attack you inside the entryway as we come down the stairs. But there could be an unexpected event if we roll badly on the power dice, and that leads us to the turn sequence. So first, the power phase. That's when we see how much power is available to the wizard. If we roll a 1, though, an unexpected event occurs, and we immediately have to flip an event card to see what happens. Roll 5, though, means the wizard has 5 power to play with. Then it's the warrior phase. So the warrior phase, we can move, we can fight, and then we can take wounds potentially. And there's also pinning. Pinning is if you start adjacent to a bad guy, you then have to roll a certain amount to try and get away. But we don't have any of that stuff, and everybody here has a movement of 4, except the elf, who I believe has a movement of, no, he has a movement of 4 as well. Never mind, the other elves have a movement of 6, like the war dancer. They're going to move. So we'll start with the barbarian. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can't enter a new area until the exploration phase, which means nothing's going to happen yet. We then go in any order we want because I'm playing solo. And normally we'd start with the leader, and he has to act first. Everybody else goes by initiative. So initiatives remaining, it's going to be the elf, then the wizard, then the dwarf. So the elf goes next. He's going to move his 4 as well. Then it's going to be the wizard, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the dwarf's going to go 1, 2. And be done. Now, because there are no monsters on the table, I can then explore during the exploration phase. This will happen during the warrior phase, but we'll wait until there's monsters on the table to see what they actually are. So exploration, we then check out a new part of the dungeon, which means we flip a new dungeon card and see what it is. It's a dungeon cell. What little light penetrates from this room seems to be absorbed by its deep blue floor. Dungeon cell will always trigger an event card unless the adventure book states otherwise. So there's always going to be an event here, which means we have to flip an event card. And the dungeon cell is full of scorpions. So it has an opposite doorway, which means we'll place the doorway over here, and then we get attacked by scorpions. Scorpion Swarm is a special form of monster, and its attack is resolved immediately. Randomly determine which warrior is attacked by the swarm. Now that comes to random determination. We have 4 tokens here, each representing a warrior. I'm going to shift them up, and we'll pick this one. The elf, he gets attacked by scorpions. So the elf's being attacked. They represent there are 12 scorpions in the swarm, but they're very small and not represented by miniatures. Roll your warrior's normal damage dice, d6 plus strength, to see how many he kills with his attack. The numbers rolled is the number of scorpions he kills. Each one's worth 5 gold. Any scorpions that are left inflict 1 wound with no modifiers for toughness or armor. Uh-oh. Scorpion Swarm then scuttles away, and this is discarded. And then we roll a d6. On a 1, 2, or 3, you have to draw another event card and resolve it immediately. So the elf gets bit by scorpions. How many does he kill? All right, well, he has to roll d6 plus his strength of 3. Ha! He kills 9, so only 3 wounds get done to him. He's down to 10. Elf getting stabbed by scorpions. So now on a 1, 2, or 3, we have to get another event card. We do not. Okay, sweet. So no event card this turn. Exploration phase done. We draw our event card. We immediately go to the next power phase and try to roll. We don't. We roll a 6. So 6 power this turn. And then we go to the warriors phase. They get to do some actions and stuff. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and he'll get to explore a new room. Now he has the lantern, which means he can do it. And you can always see into the room you're in plus adjacent rooms. If the warrior moves away, 1, 2, 3, 4, it could be trouble. If the elf went next, then it's the wizard. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the dwarf, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, time to do another exploration phase, because there's no monsters in the monster phase to fight us, because the scorpion scuttled off. So, exploring a new dungeon area. A passageway. You are standing just inside a dank, dark, expansive corridor that disappears into the gloom. The passageway will always be empty unless the adventure book states otherwise, or you roll an unexpected event during the next power phase. Change things up and move the doorway a little bit, so it's going left. And then we roll for our next power phase. A 1! No! An unexpected event occurs. So now we have the monsters we're going to strike first. So the monsters attack. 1 Minotaur! Oh no! It looms out of the darkness. And because you have to divide, so there's the rule of 1-on-1. You have to divide as many monsters as appear evenly as possible amongst the heroes. Now, because there's only one monster, I'm going to use the random generator here to figure out who he attacks. And he'll get placed fighting them. So it's going to be the dwarf, of course. We just didn't notice this Minotaur in the corner here, fighting the dwarf. You place the miniature facing the model it's attacking, and it will try and attack in the monster phase no matter what. Now, normally, during the normal event phase, the heroes get to go first, and the monsters don't attack that turn. They're too busy jumping out of the darkness. But when you get an unexpected event, this guy's going to attack in the monster phase. Pretty beefy. He's got 15 wounds. He can move 6 squares per turn, a weapon skill of 4, strength of 4, toughness 4, and attacks. Now, let's talk about how attacking works. I do get to go first, which is sweet. It just means when you get an unexpected event, they get to attack the monster phase they arrive, as opposed to arriving that turn and then not getting to fight. So the Barbarian's going to go first. Now, he's carrying the super sweet Sword of Murdering, and I think he's going to go try and kill this guy. So he's going to do his move, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, and then he's going to try and fight. Now, he's got a weapon skill of 3, so we compare the opponent's weapon skill, and to try and hit a weapon skill of 4. So weapon skill, it's Old Warhammer. So for, where are you at? Bjorngar has a weapon skill of 3 versus 4. It's a 4+. Now, I can just do this in my head, but I figured I'd show you the table and the fact that it's the old school one. And does he hit? Now, before he rolls the hit, he has a special rule called Berserk. Each turn before he fights, there's a chance he might just go crazy and make an additional attack. He rolls a die and adds his level, which is going to be, in this case, a 1, to the die roll. And if he rolls a 6 or more, then he goes Berserk and gets a bonus attack. He does not go Berserk. Oh, he does go Berserk, actually. That's a 6. So he gets 2 attacks against Mr. Minotaur right now. Both hitting on a 4+. 1 hits. So now once you hit, just like in Warhammer, you have to do damage. Now the damage process in this is not a cross-reference table. You do your strength plus d6 wounds. Now, because he's using that magic sword that the going to kill the Lich with, he does 2d6 plus his strength and wounds, minus the toughness of the target. Now the toughness of a Minotaur is going to be 4. So it's going to be 2d6 plus 3 minus 4. So 10 plus 3 is 13, minus 4 is 9. It leaves him with 6 wounds left. He's one of these sweet little wound dice. Now whoever kills him gets the gold for him, and he's worth a bunch of gold. Worth noting there's 90 gold on the raw sheet of the elf, because he killed those 9 scorpions, worth 10 each. So from the Barbarian having gone, because he was the leader, it goes to the elf. Now the elf could kill this Minotaur with his bow, and he could attack or move in any order. So I think we're going to attack first. Attack is range attack, and he hits on a 4+ with his bow. So let's do it, 4+. He hits, and then he has a D3 plus D6 damage. He does 5 damage minus the toughness of 4. We'll take it down to 1 more wound. So 5 wounds left. He'll move. Now he's not pinned, although he has a special rule. He basically breaks pinning for free. He's an elf. You can't hold this guy down. And he's gonna walk, I think, into the next room. Anyway, go 1, 2, just 2, 3, 4. He can't move too far away because he doesn't want to move out of the light of the lantern, but it's far enough. He gets to go. He might as well attack first, because if he manages to somehow kill this guy, then he'll be able to fight back. Now his weapon skill is 2 versus the opponent's weapon skill of 4, and it's not double +1, so I think it's on a 4+. So 2 against 4, yep, still a 4+. Bob him with his sword, Mr. Wizard. You're not very good at this, but you can try. You're not going to open a pit. He hits. He's only strength 3 though, so D6 plus 3 minus the toughness of 4. That's 8, minus 4 is 4. The guy's got 1 wound left. We've almost slain the Minotaur. And now he breaks from combat on a, his pinning break is on a 4+. He's pretty good at getting out of the way. So on a 4+, he'll be able to make his move, otherwise he's stuck where he is. Nope, he's stuck where he is. So Mr. Dwarf. So Mr. Dwarf's gonna go. He is weapon skill 4 against weapon skill 4, so once again a 4, 5, or 6 to hit with his great axe. Does he hit? He does. Now his great axe, if he rolls a 1, he trips on his beard and falls over, which sucks. But the great axe always rolls 2d6, pick the highest when doing damage. He's going to do 5, plus strength of 3 is 8, minus the 4 is 4. He slays this, and even though he was attacked by the Minotaur, he gets its card, which means he'll gain 440 gold. It's experience and also what you buy your equipment within town, so it's worth just putting the event card next to the guy who killed it. That's his move, so you might as well move, and he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's cursing the elf right now and telling him, like, yeah, nice try with the bow there, buddy. Well, that was the hero's phase, the warrior phase rather. Monster phase, the monster's slain, so it doesn't get to attack, although it would have if it had survived, and they almost, all 4 of them couldn't quite kill that Minotaur, so if D3 of them show up, I'm going to be in trouble. And also the elf is wounded. So it's power phase, sorry, it's exploration phase. We don't have any one next to this doorway, so we can't go yet. And also the lantern's not there. And then it's new power phase for a new turn. And it's a 1 again, another unexpected event. This dungeon seemed empty, but was not. So another event, a dead body. Before the warriors lies a dead barbarian lying in a pool of blood, clutched tightly to his chest as a bag. Roll a d6 for each warrior. The warrior with the lowest score must take the bag. And then roll a d6 to see what happens. Dwarf gets a 2, the barbarian gets a 5, the wizard gets a 6, and the elf doesn't get a 2. No, also gets a 2. Rolling off again. The dwarf gets a 5, the elf gets a 6. Sorry, dwarf. Alright, what's inside the dead body? D6, a 5. Treasure! The bag gains D6 times 10 times 100 gold. To be given to the warrior who took it. Oh, dwarf, you're the best. You get 400 gold. So warrior phase, starting with leaders. He's going to move his 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes to the elf. He'll go 1, 2, 3. He gets to go and go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. And the dwarf will go and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, you do actually move then fight. It is in a special order. So that dwarf shouldn't have moved after killing the Minotaur, but it didn't really matter. Let's get no monster in the monster phase, exploration phase. The leader isn't next to the new doorway. So power phase for the next turn. And we get a 5. Sweet, no more unexpected events, no more dead barbarians and Minotaurs. So it's pretty simple. We're just going to go 1, 2, and be done. We'll go 1, and be done. 1, 2, 3, and be done. Now the wizard can spend his power to cast spells at any time, but there hasn't really been a need to yet. Right, monster phase, no monster on the table. Exploration phase, what's the next passageway? Another passageway. Is always empty unless there's an expected event. So power phase for the next turn. Do we get an expected event? No. All right, well, starting with the leader again, the barbarian. He'll move 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the elf's going to go, and he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Wizard's next. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the dwarf. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, no exploration. No monsters for the monster phase. Next turn's power phase. Not a 1. So 4 power. And everyone's just going to line up. So leader, 1, 2. Then the elf, 1, 2. And the wizard, 1, 2. And the dwarf's going to hold the door. Monsters at the end of the action phase. So it's on to the exploration phase. New dungeon. A corner. Oh my gosh. Shuffled these, so no events unless there's one stated. And we're on to the next turn's power phase. Power phase. No unexpected attack. Wizard gets 6 power, not that he's using it. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 with the barbarian. Sorry, actually he can't do that. He has to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Because he can't cut the corner where there's a wall. Then the elf, 1, 2, 3, 4. The dwarf, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the wizard, 1, 2, 3, 4. Monsters, so it's power phase again. Get a 3. And we're going to walk up to the doorway. Leader. Elf's going 1, 2. Wizard's going to stand there, and the dwarf's going to go 1. All right, so the next room is going to be the guard room. A dim light illuminates, from the lantern illuminates what appears to be a checkerboard flattened floor. All right, let's place it from over here. And then we enter it, and once we've entered, our turns end, and we trigger the event. So it should have happened over here when I did the scorpions. Starting with leader, he's going to move. Now the doorway for the guard room is always going to be on the other side. He's going to try and get to the next door. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. The dwarf's, and that ends his turn. Then the dwarf's going to go and go 1, 2, 3, 4. The elf's going to go 1 and stop. The wizard's going to go 1, 2 and stop. Yes. No. The elf's going to go 1, 2 more over here. And the wizard will wait. It is Goblin Spearmen! Alright, so 6 Goblin Spearmen attack us. They have 2 wounds each. They're movement 4, weapon skill 2, strength 3, toughness 3 with 1 attack. And they can fight up to 2 squares away because they've got sweet, sweet spears. Rule of 1-on-1, everybody gets a goblin facing them. Because everybody gets 1. There's 6 and there's 4 warriors. And then we're going to draw 2 chits to see who else gets 1. So bonus goblins go to the dwarf and the barbarian. and they'll show up over here. Now you have to try and put them facing in one-on-one if possible. And that's their monster phase, because our activation warrior phase is over. The monster phase, they appear, they don't attack yet. And then exploration, the room has to be cleared before we can explore. So back to the new turn, and let's see what our sweet this is. 4, so 4 power. Barbarian gets to go first, and now I get to demonstrate something called Death Blow. Basically, if you do enough wounds to kill a model in one hit, you get to make another attack against the model adjacent to you. It's a cool rule because it basically simulates the fact that you are almost always outnumbered, and you get bonus attacks based on how well you're doing. So start with the Barbarian because he's the leader. Everybody's going to face their opponents because why not? Just looks cooler. And he's going to make a swing. So he's weapon skill 3 against weapon skill 2, so it's 3+. 1, he's going to miss. Oh, does he rile up actually? I would have to roll that first. And when I roll a 1, not only do I go berserk, then no matter how many monsters I've killed, disaster strikes. The Barbarian's so maddened with bloodlust, all he does is slash about wildly into wound every adjacent warrior. So I wound the dwarf, and I wound both of these guys. I add my battle level, plus I add the number of monsters I've killed. Because I get more and more berserk the more guys I kill. So everybody takes a wound, as does the dwarf. He goes down at 12. Good job, Barbarian. You freaked out. Lost your mind. He's all done, so it's Alpha Clock. Now the elf can't be pinned, so it's almost worth moving away. Is it? I mean, yeah, make them chase you, I guess. And you'll go... The dwarf might be able to kill all of these guys, so if you were to stand... No, it won't really help, actually. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, because you can't be pinned. And take a bow shot on that guy, because why not? So hitting on a 4+, because you're shooting the bow, you missed. All right, wizard time. Can you stab that guy, wizard? You might as well try. Weapon skill 2 against weapon skill 2, so 4+. You miss. And that's you. And then finally it's the dwarf. He'll try and hit some goblins. He'll hit the wounded one first because it's more likely to death blow through. On a 3, because weapon skill 4, you hit. And then it's 2, I expect the highest the damage. Yeah, so 5 plus 3 is 8. Minus his toughness of 3 because he's a goblin. So, yeah, he explodes. And then you get to make an attack against the next guy, death blow. Goblin on a 3, you hit. And then that's going to be 6 minus 3 is 3. He dies too. Sweet, that's 2 dead goblins for him. It's 40 gold, and that's all the heroes having gone, so it's monster phase. Every monster's going to move and attack if they can, so you have 2 goblins, both attacking the barbarian. So the first one, weapon skill 2 against weapon skill 3, and on a 4, misses. The second one, misses as well. Then this guy's going to chase. He has a movement of 4. He'll chase after and go 1, 2, and fight the elf. Weapon skill 3 against weapon skill 2, so 4+. Nope, misses. And then weapon skill 2 against weapon skill 2, he's going to attack that wizard on a 4. He hits. And it's strength 3 plus d6. So that's a 9 minus toughness 3, 6 wounds. Whoa, almost dead. Might as well use your power right now to try and not die. So you've got 4 power. The heal wounds costs 4. You'll spend it all. And immediately heal d6 wounds at the end of that attack. Get back 5. So you're only taking 1, you're down to 9. Exploration, monster phase is over, so it's into the new turn. Power phase 2. Healing spell off twice. All right, well, warrior's activating. Barbarian gets to go first. Does he freak out? He hasn't killed anything yet, so he needs a raw 6. No, doesn't get it. So his first attack on a 3+ against that goblin. Gonna miss. Oh, Barbarian. Well, then it's elf time. Elf's just gonna stab, I think. No, he might as well stab. He can't be pinned. He'll step to here. Try and hit that goblin. He hits it, and then strength 3 against toughness 3. That's a 7. Minus 3 is 4 wounds. Kills him. Death blow into the next one. Hits. That's a 6. Death blows him as well. So 40 gold for the elf. Dwarf, time to get your dwarf on. You're going to go 1 and become pinned, but then, actually, sorry, 2 is next to. And then make an attack with your great axe. Can you hit him on a 3? You can. And then 2 pick the highest. That's going to be 8 total. Minus 2 is 6 wounds. You only got 1 left, so he dies. Whoops, the wizard would have gone before that on a 4+. Missed. So didn't matter because he can't do anything. Does he? Actually, you could try to escape pinning on a 4+, but yeah, didn't work. Great job, Wiz. Monster phase, gonna fight back against the wizard on a 4. Missed. Goblins, so power phase for the next turn. We can't explore. Actually, we could explore if we want to, but we risk bringing on more monsters. So we're not going to. Power phase on a 4. No unexpected event occurs. And then we get to activate with the leader first. He's just going to stand there because he doesn't really care to leave. The elf then goes, and he'll take a step over to here and then shoot with the bow on a 4+. He misses. Then the wizard's going to go. Can he actually kill this guy? Weapon skill 2 against weapon skill 2. 4+ to hit. Hits. does a grand total of 5 damage. -3 is 2, just enough to kill. Dwarf goes and goes 1, 2, and stands there. And we prepare to explore. Exploration phase. A stairway deeper. So no event unless there's an unexpected one during the next phase. And yeah, that's gonna be sweet if we go deeper and find what the bad guys are. So entering a new room. Everybody just gets to move. Starting with the leader. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ends his turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. The dwarf. Oh, sorry, actually the wizard. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the dwarf. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we get an unexpected event? We did not. And only 2 power. Exploration because we're not adjacent to the door, so new round. Again, power phase. No unexpected event, but only 2 power. The barbarian will move up to the door. 1, 2, he's the leader. The elf will move 1, 2, 3, 4 and behind. The wizard will move 1, 2, 3, 4, and the dwarf will move into the doorway as well. Exploration, we find a torture chamber, of course. By the flickering light of the lantern, you can make out a small, rough-hewn room. The torture chamber will always trigger an event card. So torture chamber goes down, and then we get to move in. All right, starting with leader. Over to the next doorway. Prepare to battle. The dwarf, gonna do the same thing. Prepare to battle. And this way, hopefully, we fill up with bad guys. The wizard's gonna go... Sorry, actually, the elf goes first. He'll go stand in this corner. And then the wizard would have gone before the dwarf. And the dwarf goes in there. And old bones. The floor of this room is littered with bones and skulls. As the glint... oh, sorry. I forgot we cleared this room. We get to draw a treasure card. And it goes to the leader first. A magic potion. What is it? It's 6. A healing potion. Restore to full wounds. Sweet. He got a magic potion when we cleared that room. Everyone has to get a treasure card before it goes back to the leader, but the leader picks who gets one afterwards. So I get to pick who gets it afterwards. Sorry, old bones. Trap, cackling laughter echoes around the room and lightning flashes. Sorry. Or illusion. Draw another event card immediately. 4 to 5, draw another event card immediately. So like it's all either I take damage or we can find a bunch of gold and draw another event. Treasure card for completing this one. So yeah. So the Scorpion's Dead Body didn't get me treasure cards either. So let's see what happens. It's a 3. So an illusion, no bones. Sorry, the golden bones all go away from the tortured victims, I imagine, and we draw another event card immediately. It's 6 Goblin Archers. 4 Goblin Archers, you draw another event card on top of it. So it's 2d6 giant rats. Oh no. So before fighting the Night Goblin Archers, take another event card. So this one happens first. And we get 2d6 of these. So 8 of them. So everyone's fighting 2 giant rats. And then everybody's got to fight 6 goblins. Rats are actually pretty bad news because they have a Death Leap ability, which is pretty terrifying. And then 6... goblins. 4 go as close as possible, and they can shoot with their bows against their chosen target, and they'll face their chosen target. And then 2 more will get to randomly try and get as close as possible to other heroes. 2 odd ones, the elf, and the 3 in the doorway, targeting the elf and the dwarf. Giant rats are bad news. When a giant rat hits your warrior, roll 2 dice, see how many wounds it causes, and add their strength. So it's 2 dice damage. But once they've attacked, on a 3+, they suicidally die, because they basically impale themselves on the enemy, which is pretty bad news. Now, the Goblin Archers are going to shoot instead of attacking. They need a 5 to hit when they shoot, regardless of weapon skills, because it's just a shooting attack. It has D6 +1 wounds. He gets to go first, so he'll attack a giant rat, because he might as well. It's only toughness 3 with 1 wound. But does he go berserk first? Now he's killed 2 guys? 0 guys. So does he go berserk? He does. He does a wound to everybody adjacent. So he kills 2 rats immediately. 3 rats actually. And does a wound to each of the goblins. And he does the bad berserk though, because that ends his activation. But he managed to kill 3 guys. So he's +3 to his berserk roll now. He's just freaking out. It's on the elf, and he might as well just attack a goblin or attack a rat. He'll attack this one and see if he can death blow his way across. Weapon skill 3 against weapon skill 2, hitting on a 3. He hits. Strength 3 + D6. Oh, jeez. So that's a 5 minus its toughness of 3 is 2 damage, so he'll kill that one. He'll death blow into the goblin now, hitting on a 3 because it's also weapon skill 2. Hits. D6 damage +3, so 6 minus toughness 3 is 2 damage, or 3 damage, which kill it. It only has 2 wounds. And then onto the last rat on a 3. Hits. Wounds with a 9 minus 3 is 6 damage. Explodes that rat as well. So 3 kills. That's another 60 gold for the elf. Lake Breeze, you're crushing it. Crushing bad guys. And we're on now to initiative-wise, the wizard. I mean, he could drop a pit on all these guys and just kill them on 1 or a 2, but he doesn't have the power to do it without spending all of his tokens. So he's just going to do his sword, hit on a 4+ against that rat. Nope, he misses. His dwarf, so he'll take a swing at that little rat on a 3. He misses, does nothing. All right, it's on to the monster phase, and we'll start with the rats because they are pretty terrifying. They hit on a 4+ against most things, unless it's weapon skill 5 or higher. So we'll start with this rat against the dwarf, 4+, misses. The next rat against the wizard, 4+, misses. The third one against the wizard, misses. That's all the rats. So now goblins, they are all shooting their bows if they can. So bow on a 5+, hits, and then it's d6 + 1. So 2 against the wizard's toughness of 3 doesn't actually wound him. The wounded one against the dwarf hits on a 5, and then d6 + 1. Minus toughness 5, that's no damage. And then the last one against the barbarian hits. D6 + 3, or 1 is going to be 3. He's toughness 4, so no damage. Against the dwarf, this one, 5+, hits. No damage. And then against the last one, against the elf, hits, and 7 minus 3 is 4 damage. Oh, the elf goes down to 6 left. Exploration phase, the room's full of monsters, so we can't keep exploring, and that means we're on to the next power phase. 40 in here. 4 power. Well, we could cast some healing at least, which is nice. It's warrior phase, starting with the leader. So now, does he freak out? He has 3 kills on his kill counter, so 3+, he gets an extra attack. Nope, he freaks out again, doesn't wound everybody adjacent. So both these guys die. And his kill counter goes to 5, and he gets 40 more. He's just frothing at the mouth. It's 12 o'clock. Do we want to try and save the wizard? I think we do. We'll take a step, because we ignore pinning, and go 1, 2, and then try and do a death blow all the way across here. So on a 3+ against that elf, or that rat, he hits. He does a total of 6 damage. Minus 3 is more than his 1 wound. Against the next rat, hits. That's a total of 5. Minus 3 is 2 wounds. Kills him. And against the goblin, misses. Well, Mr. Wizard gonna attack that rat on a 4+. Weapon skill 2 against 2. No, he misses as well. He's supposed to spend some power. He's gonna spend his 4 power from this turn to cast healing on the elf, who will regain d6 wounds. It's anywhere on the table. 5 wounds. He'll go up to 11 out of his 13. He does not want to let anyone die. 12 o'clock. He'll take a step and go 1, 2, and then he'll attack that rat. Hits. 2d6 for the highest. Woof, almost falls down. So that's a 6, which will kill it, and he'll death blow into the goblin. On a 3, because weapon skill 2. Hits it. 3. That's a 5 or 6 total for damage. Minus 3 is 3. I'll kill him as well. 40 for Skeggy. All right, well, it's on to the monster phase. So the one shooting the dwarf can't see him, so he's have to move and go 1. And then take a shot. On a 5. Misses. And the one seeing the elf can't see him, so he'll go 1. And then on a 5. Hits him. And does 6 damage, so 3 more wounds. The dodge rule means there's always a chance he ignores it. He doesn't. Did you ignore the previous one? He did not. It's 6+ dodge against all damage, down to 8 wounds. Right, no exploration. We've almost cleared all the monsters though, so power phase of the next turn. A 5, sweet. We're on to the heroes phase. Well, warriors, do you think the dwarf can handle these guys? I think the dwarf and the elf can handle these guys. So we're just gonna stay there with the barbarian and explorer. So we'll go to the elf next. He'll take a step. And then he will, you can't death blow with a bow and arrow, so we'll just try and do this with melee. So on a 3+ against the goblin, weapon skill 2, misses. The wizard is pinned on a 4+, he'll ignore it, and he does, he gets to move. 1, 2, 3, and then he's gonna spend 4 of his 5 to cast healing on the elf again. Heal 2, so he'll go up to 10. Clock, step up, hit that goblin on a 3, hits it, 2d6 for the highest, kills him. And then against the other goblin, because you're born to kill goblins and show else how it's done. Nah, he misses. 20 for Skeggy, though, and it means we don't get to explore this round because you guys couldn't seal the deal. You're the worst. Yeah, power phase for the next round. Actually, monster phase, rather. That's the one that's attacking the dwarf, so on a 5+ with his bow. He misses. It would have been a 4+ because he'd been using his sword at this point because he's in melee. And then power phase for the round. Power phase. 4. We can get another heal off, which is sweet. And then the Wheeler's not going to do anything. He's just going to stand in the doorway because I'm hoping these guys can actually seal the deal here. The elf hitting the goblin on a 3 with his sword. He hits him. Does 7 damage. Minus 3 is 4. That'll kill. Monster phase. Nothing happens. So it's exploration phase. The next chamber is a Well of Doom. The stench of decay hangs in the air, emanating from a bottomless shaft in the center of the room. The Well of Doom will always trigger an event card. What happens? We don't get a 1, we get a 4. Actually, sorry, I would have used that last turn. Ah, it's too late now. I would have healed again, but no big deal. And let's move in, start with leader. The doorways from the Well of Doom are always across. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ends his activation. He's going to try and explore next turn if he can. And it's the elf. 1, 2, 3, 4. The wizard. 1, 2, 3, 4. Away from that barbarian. And the dwarf. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our event, it's D3 Minotaurs. Oh no. Alright, how many Minotaurs? 3 Minotaurs. Whoa. Alright, so who's getting Minotaured? Everybody but one. We'll draw the one that isn't getting Minotaured. Ha! The elf. Alright. Everybody else gets to fight a sweet, sweet Minotaur. So 1, 2. We just hustled in here and didn't realize the room was just swarming with Minotaurs. Did they come out of the well, maybe? I don't know. But we're fighting 3 Minotaurs. That's what's happening. Alright, well, that was their monster phase. There's no exploration because the room's full of monsters. So power phase for the new turn. 6. We got lots of power. Sweet. We could cast the Pit of Despair. Make a good place for it to go. I guess I could do it there. And I could potentially drop 2 of them. Actually, because the dwarf's not getting away from pinning. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, let's see if we can do some killing. And make ready. The murdering. So you have a chance of freaking out now. On a 1, you fail. Now you get 2 attacks. Sweet. So 2 attacks into the Minotaur that's attacking you. So both attacks are going to be on a 4+, weapon skill 3 against weapon skill 4. Both hits. The first one, 2d6 because you have your magic super cool sword, and you're finally using it to not freak out. So +4. So 9 minus toughness of 4, I believe. 5 wounds. He's got 10 left. Second hit. That's an 11 minus 4 is 7 wounds. So that's going to be 3 left. Well, it's the elf. Oh, you escape pinning for free. I feel like it's a good idea for you to do so. You could just shoot that last Minotaur and poach the kill. Or just step over there and poach the kill. I think you're going to step over there and poach the kill. Go 1, 2. And try and poach the kill. On a 4+. Hits with the sword. D6 plus 3. That's going to be a grand total of 7 minus 3 is 4 damage. Kills him. 140 gold for Lake Breeze. Well done. And then it's wizard time. You want to get out of there on a 4+. You do not break away, so you don't get to move. I guess you stab with your sword on a 4. Weapon skill 2 against weapon skill 4. You hit. D6 plus 3. 6 minus 4 is 2 damage, so he's got a grand total of 13 left. Markers are from Litco, by the way. They're way handier than trying to pile dice right now. And then it's the dwarf. I guess attack the wounded one on a weapon skill 4 against weapon skill 4, so 4+. You miss. Sweet. Well done. Monster phase. Minotaur the first. Gonna make some stabbing. So he's weapon skill 4, the one that's attacking the wizard. Hitting on a 3+. He's got 2 attacks. Both hits. Oh no, and he's 2 dice plus wounds. I think the wizard might be down. So the wizard's getting a 2d6 plus 4. So the first hit is 10 minus 7 wounds. So he's down to 2 left. And the second hit is 13, so 10 wounds. So he's at -7, he's at 0. Bleeding out, the other Minotaur against the dwarf. Hits once, weapons go 4 against weapons go 4, and then he's 2d6 plus 4 minus the toughness of 5. So 9 minus 5 is 4. Takes 4 damage, goes down to 8 left. Bam, right in the dwarf. Totally forgot to cast my Pit of Doom. Should have done that. That's okay, we got a healing potion. We're gonna fix this guy up. Exploration phase, power phase, you roll even if the wizard's down to see what happens. No unexpected event. And we go. So let's start with the barbarian. Does he freak out? He does not. So he's gonna have 2 attacks. We're just gonna attack this Minotaur that's stabbing the wizard. Hit once, and then it's gonna be 2d6 plus 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8, minus 4 is 4 more damage, goes down to 9. Best, not the worst. And then it's the elf. All right, elf, you need to go. And you escape from pinning for free. So 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna use your healing potion, I think. Back up to full wound. Whoop. On somebody else though, on a 1 to 3 it doesn't work. On a 4+ it does work because you're not actually applying it to yourself. You have to do like first aid here. So can we slip the healing potion to the wizard on 4+? No, straight up dead. He goes to 0 wounds and I waste the healing potion. It gets spilled everywhere. Well, let's do my attack against the wounded Minotaur on a 4. I miss. Block. Can we hit that wounded Minotaur and kill him? We're gonna try. So 1 attack on a 3+, no 4+, missed. Minotaurs are gonna go. The 1 attacking the dwarf is still around, so we have to randomize who he's gonna come after now. So the wizard token comes out of the token bag. And who is that other Minotaur gonna attack now? Because his target is dead. The elf. That makes sense. He's standing right there. Attacking the elf, 2 attacks on 4s. Actually, I think 3s. I think he wants to go 3. No, I'm just going 4. So on 4s, 1 hit. 2d6 plus 4. 9 minus 3 is 6 damage. The elf is down to 4 left. Ooh, we've lost our healer. Tried our potion. This is not going well. All right, and then the other one attacking the dwarf. 2 attacks on 4s. Both miss. This can still happen because unexpected events can still occur. We don't get one though. And the wizard's down. Oh, Wilbur Whitebeard. So hero phase or warrior phase, starting with the berserking, or hopefully berserking barbarian. He berserks because that's +5 right now. And does the attack and kill that Minotaur. So 2 attacks on 4s, 4 against 4. Hits once. 2d6 plus 4 damage. So basically just 2d6 damage. If I get a 9, I kill him. It's an 11, plus 4 is 15, minus 4 is 11. That's just going to kill that Minotaur for 440 gold. All right, the elf, I think is just going to shoot his bow, because he might as well just stay back there and not get murdered. So on the 4+ he hits, he misses. It's the dwarf. All right, dwarf, do your thing. 4+ to hit, weapons go 4 against weapons go 4. You crush him, and then it's 2d6 pick the highest, plus 3. So that's going to be a 9. It's 5 wounds, goes down to 10 left. It's your phase, that Minotaur is going to fight back against the dwarf on a 4. Hits twice. Oh no, the first one does, oh geez, 13 minus 5 is 8 damage. That's exactly enough to knock him out. And then the second one, I'm going to take him below 0 wounds. Unless he rolls really low. No. So he's dead. It's the dwarf and the wizard. Well then. I guess it's now the power phase for the next turn. No exploration right now because there's bad guys in the room. No baddies. All right, well, let's see what we can see here. Time to go fight, I think. Go get him, barbarian. Take a step. Do I freak out? I do. So 2 attacks on 4s. With my cool magic sword, 1 hit, and then 2d6 damage. It's 9, minus 4 is 5. So he goes from 10 down to 5 left. Off time, hit him with the bow. 4+. You do. You do 6 damage, minus 4 is 2. Oh, couldn't kill him. If you'd rolled a 6, you would have killed him. So 2 damage makes him 3 left. Guy's new target, it's, surprise, the barbarian. So he just turns over and fights. 2 attacks on 4s into the barbarian. 1 hits, 2d6 plus 4 damage. It's an 11, minus toughness 4 is 7 wounds. So he goes from, I think he's got 11, 12? He's got 4 left. Oh, geez. But he's pretty beat up. But now it's power phase for the next turn. Do we get another unexpected event? We do not. Lots of power if the wizard was still alive. And we'll start with the barbarian. He'll attack. Does he freak out? He does just 1 wound to him. Oh no, I think this guy's gonna kill us. 2 left? Yeah. Because I did my freak out and everyone adjacent takes 1 wound. And then it's elf. Kill him with the bow. Hit! Hits. D6 plus 3, so I have to do 2 wounds here. Sorry, D6 plus 3 minus 4. So I have to roll a 3+ to kill him. Dead. That's 6, minus 4 is 2. Another 440 for the elf. Action phase, let's just walk over. Warrior's gonna take position. And then exploration phase, what do we got? We got the tomb chamber. All right, power phase for the next turn. It's a 3. Expected events, but we can walk in and hopefully not die. We have to get to the tomb after we kill everyone, so we're gonna go 1, and then 1, 2, so we don't get murdered by him, I guess. D6 to see what it contains. 3, a Minotaur, D6 plus 2 Skaven, and 2d6 giant rats. Who's the Minotaur going after? Oh, it's gonna be bad. The barbarian, of course. D6 plus 2 Skaven, so 5 Skaven, and the odd one's going to go on to the elf. So 3 against the elf and 2 against the barbarian. Oh, it's feeling like we're gonna die. And then 2d6 giant rats. Oh god. 7 giant rats. Come pouring out of the sewer. The odd ones don't really matter here. I can roll for it, but they can't fight us just yet except for the 2 in the doorway. Fill in as needed. Barbarian, do you freak out? You are the leader. Of course you do. Do 1 wound to everybody adjacent. Oh my god. How many wounds do these Skaven have? 3 wounds each, so they've all got 2 wounds left. Except for this one. And then he's got 14 wounds left. Just die. Because they explode. My kill counter goes above 5 or 6, doesn't matter now. 40 more gold for the Barbarian, if he lives. Elf time. We'll attack that wounded Skaven on a 3+. Weapon skill 4 against weapon skill 3. Hits. D6 plus 3. So that's going to be a grand total of 5. Toughness 3. So it kills him and then get 2 wounds left because the Barbarian murdered him. So that's going to be now a attack death blow onto the next Skaven. 3+. Misses. Oh boy. Well, the Minotaur's mad. 2 attacks into the Barbarian. 1 hits. 2d6 damage. That's going to be an 11. Minus 4 is 8. Enough to down him. So he's dead on the ground. We don't have any items to heal him, so I think this is going to be it. And then it's Skaven time. Everyone goes after him, so it's going to be steps forward and makes an attack. Let's go 4 against the L, or weapon skill 3, misses. The next one misses. The last one hits. D6 plus 3, I'm pretty sure damage. Yep. 7 damage minus the toughness of 3 is going to be wounds. Takes him to 6. Does he duck it on a 6 though? Doesn't dodge it. And the rats just mill in and try and all come after the elf. This guy moves forward. They get to the elf. Praise! Unexpected event. Ha! A cave-in! Place the cave-in marker on the board section where this card was triggered to show all except the one the warriors entered are blocked. Any warriors still in the board section at the end of this are in this board section at the end of the next turn are crushed by rubble and killed. Any monsters are crushed automatically. Warriors attempting to escape are not subject to the rules for pinning while in this room. Card is drawn in the first room of the dungeon. Ignore it and draw another card completely. So there's no rule for what happens if this is the objective room. So literally the objective caves in. I can't get out. And we all die in a giant cave-in at the end of this adventure. Do I kill anybody first on the way out, though? I'll stop that cave-in on a 3. I hit him. I kill him, and then death blow into the next one, because he only got 2 wounds left, and he took 4 there. The next one, I hit him. I kill him. The third one adjacent to me. If only I could attack, then move. I miss him. More gold for the elf, but then the monsters go, and the Minotaur's going to step over here. And probably just pummel me to death. 2 attacks on 4s. Both hit. Do I dodge either one? Nope. The first one, 2d6 plus 4. I'm just dead. I explode. And the cave-in happens, and the Necromancer's blade is entombed! And we have a total party kill. So there you go. Our plan to link adventures, obviously, is going to have, I guess, the relatives of these adventurers go looking for them on their next adventure. So I hope you enjoyed that. There's a couple things I probably could have done differently. I could have chugged a healing potion with the Barbarian, which would have probably made it go on a little bit longer, although I don't think the Minotaur would have not splattered him, and there were so many bad guys fighting him at that point, it probably didn't matter. And I probably forgot at least 1 treasure card from encounters. The encounters that don't generate monsters don't typically give you a treasure card, but every other card does. So there should have been 1 or 2 more treasures, but they probably wouldn't have affected the outcome very much. Yeah, and at this point, as soon as I was down to 2 heroes, I actually couldn't complete the quest because I needed to break the curse of, once I cleared the objective room, of the Lich to be able to stab with my magic swords. The Barbarian had to survive. 2 other heroes had to survive because I can't roll a 13 on 2d6. And if I don't roll it, I get 1 chance. If I don't roll a 13 on 3d6 or 4d6 in that case, the game's just over and I become thralls of the Lich Lord anyway. So this is like the most merciless. Like I could have done everything right, cleared the room, and then just rolled badly and like not gotten the room and all turned into like zombies. And it all as the magic just overcomes us. So yeah, this is one of those adventures that probably wasn't going to start the campaign anyway. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll actually kick off the campaign. We'll bring in I don't know. We had Wilbur Whitebeard. This time we'll have Wacky Whitebeard. We'll have Skaggy instead of Skeggy, and we'll have Wolfgar instead of Bjorngar. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we'll have a new set of adventurers who look very similar to the old ones, kick off their adventure, and then as we go forward, we'll introduce some new adventures to the adventuring party, and that way when we have deaths happen, it won't be such a big deal. So anyway, I enjoyed that. We'll see you for more Warhammer Quest in the future. Next time on Ash. Happy Wargaming. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below so you get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Desperate Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.